Yep, I'm here with another collaboration review. And hello, everyone. LBT once again, and welcome back to the channel. And I hope we're all doing good. And yeah, remember the time that I did a collaboration review on Prehistoric Planet Season 2 with my friend Tyrannotherium? But this time we're doing something different, known as 65. And this time it's going to be with a buddy of mine, Gus the Proceratosaur. And I also heard that he kind of changed his opinion on 65. If I'm not mistaken, then we'll see how that goes. But as for now, let's see how this collaboration of 65 turns out to be. This time, we're going to do a collaboration on a review known as 65. Oh man, where do we begin with this? A sci-fi thriller adventure film features about Adam Driver and this little girl transported into a world 65 million years, and then they encounter a bunch of dinosaurs, and that's just about it. And I wanted to introduce you to a good friend of mine because we've been friends since Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom came out. Gus, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, people. I am Gus the Proceratosaurus. I love dinosaurs and MonsterVerse, Pacific Rim, Transformers, and other types of media that I watched from tributes a long time ago, since 2017. And I'm also a big music fan of pretty much into some sort of stuff like Starset and other stuff.
Mm-hmm. So we're here to do a collab review on the big sci-fi adventure film 65. And honestly, what are your thoughts on 65?
My thoughts on 65 is that there was this guy who was on a mission to save his daughter's sickness, but it turns out that it's not actually an adventure. Honestly, I don't know, because he went into some unknown planet, which appears to be some mysterious world, I think, and he tried to investigate it. I thought it was a good idea for some filmmakers, and he saw this weird girl who just speak unknown words, which is kind of lame because we thought that the little girl was going to be his daughter. I mean, they thought the girl was going to be his daughter, but no, the real daughter is Nevi, and her sickness failed to go away and start um well, it's he she didn't make her sickness didn't actually um didn't go away, and she died from that sickness, but it doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah,
That's-
pretty much. Yeah, the story often falls flat on its face and doesn't know what it wants to be. It either wants to be a father or daughter relationship. It either wants to be an adventure, which could make sense for two characters coming along with each other. But the biggest problem is with the execution of how it's handled and all that stuff. And not to mention, we don't see that much of appearances of the creatures until like the third act, I believe, which could be the biggest problem with the story. But at least it managed to, try some new elements and all that. But the biggest problem is with the execution and all that. Which is why I summarized the story like shorter and all that stuff. But it just falls flat on its face and doesn't know what it wants to be. And now we get to the creatures, the effects of the creatures like CGI, animatronics, and all that stuff. Because in this style, I did the story, and now let's go on to the animation. And Gus, what are your thoughts on the animation in CGI in 65?
It looks really good, I have to say, but some of those creatures, yeah, those creature alien ones that everyone didn't care for. For example, Fossolosuchus looking like a V-Rex from Peter Jackson's King Kong. The Indo, sorry, the raptors look like an Indoraptor that you and I saw Fallen Kingdom 5 years later, and then these Legosuchus that people thought they were Nothosaurs, but no, it was confirmed as Legosuchus thanks to the music score. And these creatures are just oversized nothosaur alligator like animals that we don't see in reality so far. They walk on land instead of swimming in water like we accurate nothosaurs would. And then Vasolosuchus is oversized and it has a body like a cat, and then it walks like an Indoraptor that we see in Fallen Kingdom, and then the head looked like a V-Rex, but they didn't execute the dinosaurs or in this case crocodile relatives from the Triassic. That's just so dumb how they t- they t- didn't get they didn't make I don't know, like the Fossolosuchus looking like a V-Rex sort of thing, and then the filmmakers didn't have permission to do that. They didn't have permission with Universal. Sony didn't have permission with Universal, I think. That's just my own opinion.
Yeah, but as for me, the animation is all right. Sure, some CG could be lackluster, especially with most shots, especially with the creatures. But is there big? But aside from all that, do I have to do I have to point out to the CGI? Huh? Now keep in mind that I did say that it looks okay in my opinion because some of the CG kind of looks bland and all that stuff because some parts feel like they're out of place in this movie, like the creature designs, and some places there are places and all that stuff. But when you get to the creature designs and all that stuff, I can understand that they're trying to do something different, but the dino characters, they barely look like dinosaurs that we see from the previous movies or the ones in real life. Wouldn't that be cool if they borrow some dinosaur models from from the sci-fi 2018 Jurassic games, which would have been a perfect fit, like the Tyrannosaurs, the Raptors, and all the other dinos. I'm not saying that it would have been a better movie, but at least it would have been something. And as for the creature models, which I'll get into the character segments, yeah, I'll admit that the texture looks kind of nice, but the creatures, which I'll get to the character sections, but overall, the animation, some of it looks good, some of it looks bad, but otherwise, it looks okay. And now let's move on to the characters. And yep, let's start with the characters. And what are your thoughts on the characters, guys?
Adam Driver is the main actor of this movie, and then Koa is the kid. And then we only saw like four characters in one movie, and I can understand that because not every human character has to be in every creature movie. I understand it's for money, but I just I thought we were gonna have more people in this movie when I first saw the trailer, but no, it was obviously confirmed that it was actually four characters in that film, and uh, how do I say this? How do I say this? And then Koa kind of reminds me of Maisie Lockwood from Fallen Kingdom, and then Gia from Godzilla versus Kong, and Miang, I think that's his name from the first Meg movie. Like, yes, they can. I understand that like they humans came in all shapes and sizes. Like, yeah, honestly, that's just it.
Yeah, not yeah. As for me, the characters. It's nice seeing them get their roles in a movie, especially with Adam Driver, because Adam Driver as Mills, he's a good actor. I'll admit. He did a big role in something like Star Wars and some other movies like the marriage stuff with Scarlett Johansson, which I'll get into that later. But Adam Driver here, it's great to see him play a role in a dinosaur movie for a first time. But the biggest issue is with the execution and all that. Some of the characters do look fine, but is with the execution is what I'm worried about. And as for that little girl, which yes, I do agree that she does remind me of Maisie Lockwood from Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, but that's just about it. But at least she's not like a spoiled brat or anything. She's just like a girl trying to get out of this alien world, and that's it. And as for the creatures, oh boy, where do I begin with this? Where do I begin with the creatures in 65? Yep. Yeah, out of all the creatures I've seen from 65 and all that stuff, they have some of the worst character designs in any other sci-fi movie, or in this case, dino movie in general. Like, what the hell am I looking at? Like, what the barnacles? For the example, there's these terrors. The only care aside from the pterosaurs and the rexes, who in the living barnacles improved these dino designs? Why the hell did they look like? Why the hell did they have creatures running on four legs and all that stuff? They don't even look like dinos at all. They look like some. They look like some giant mutant alien like lizard things that we see from the Amazing Spider-Man. And the biggest offender here is the Philosophuchus. The yeah, I mentioned the Philosophuchus. Yeah, it does look nice, but it kind of reminds me of the monster that we see from Dino King during the Fire Mountain. But unlike the monster from Fire Mountain, this creature doesn't have abilities to survive through lava. It doesn't have abilities to chase after other dinos and all that stuff. It's just a typical generic monster that likes to go and scamble things and all that stuff, and that's just about it. And not to mention, it gets killed off by a little girl at the end, getting killed off by the little girl. Like, the animal could have survived through that stab and all that stuff. But nope, you just have a generic monster getting killed up by a small thing, and that's just about it.
And let's not forget about the Oviraptor design from '65. It doesn't look like an accurate Oviraptor that we see from ancient times. It just always see them. It's just It's just for like seconds, and tries to fight Adam Driver, and then gets shoot in the neck. Which I thought they could do more about that creature because 65 is more about animals that live 66 million years ago instead of 65, if I'm correct,
Exactly.
friends.
It's okay, which I totally agree with you. And they would have at least gotten the animals get more screening time and all that stuff. But nope, they decided to portray them as monsters like we see from Jurassic Fight Club and Monsters Resurrected. And let's not forget Clash of the Dinosaurs as well. And even some other sci-fi crap dinosaur movies I've watched, like Age of Dinosaurs, Jurassic Attack, Cowboys versus Dinosaurs, 1 million, 10 million BC, and many more. But yeah, as much as I dislike the dino characters from Age of Dinosaurs and Monsters Resurrected, at least the filmmakers are trying to make them look like dinosaurs, from what I can tell, like the Ceratosaurus, the Rugops, and the other dinos. And as for the Carno and the Spino, not so much, which I'll get into that later in another video. But as for the creatures in 65, they bear they are one of the most disappointing creature designs I've ever seen in a sci-fi movie ever since The Good Dinosaur, especially with the Apatosauruses and yeah. But at least The Good Dinosaur feels like a better movie than 65. And even the Jurassic games. Sure, the creatures may not get more screening time, but at least I can understand what they're going for. And I especially like the Tyrannosaurs in that movie. But as for the creatures in 65, they need to execute them and all that stuff. And yeah, and they need to do something new with them. Like give them like accurate reputation of dinosaurs, or why not borrow some models from like Tarbosaurus the Mightiest Ever or the Jurassic games and make them feel like actual dinosaurs so we can understand what they're going for and all that stuff and make them properly like yeah. But as for the rest of the characters, it's nice having their introduction to them, but for the most part, they are some of the collection of one of the most weakest characters in Dino media history. And now let's head on to the conclusion. And what are your thoughts on? And what is your conclusion thoughts, Gus?
The ending of this movie doesn't actually go right because I know that that was a big ass meteorite that we didn't see in ancient times. I bet this meteorite was supposed to be like bigger than Mount Everest instead of like this big monster like awesome bro meteorite that looks like the size of the universe that slammed into Earth 66 million years, and then the two had to escape, and then the escape shuttle went up to the air, and then they survived the mass extinction, and all the animals had to do was just leave, and then leave lifeless as Earth goes by. Like the Earth changes its own climate, and then we have um the whole cities, and then after the mass extinction, we get to see how the further cameo, which are the woolly mammoths, which MREC's screen time confirmed these that the mammoths appeared in the credits just for the Cenozoic era. And that's just about it because this movie is not about aliens and dinosaurs. Aliens visiting planet Earth, known as Dinosaur Earth, if I'm correcting it, because these animals are just dinosaurs and the humans are aliens. And then Mills having PTSD about his daughter, that's just. I thought that was kind of sad, but it was supposed to be sad, but at the same time, this movie is still atrocious. And then how this little girl holds his hand and how they will survive together, and then they will. It's really sad how they're homeless in outer space. And yeah,
Yep, I pretty much agree with you. And oh man, what a massive letdown of the movie. 65, in my opinion, had a straight amount of potential in it. It has like a story that doesn't know what it wants to be. It has like the animation that is looks okay and somewhat weird in my opinion. And then the characters, some characters that I like, some characters I didn't like, were all felt mixed and out of place and all that stuff. And the dino creature designs don't even feel like dinosaurs at all. They felt like something that came right up from either Primeval, The Amazing Spider-Man, and somewhat like some Predator versus Alien movies or all that type of stuff. So, yeah. So, for those who are fans of sci-fi, alien, and dinosaur-like creatures, then I guess this is the kind of movie that I would recommend for those who are fans of this movie. But for a true Dino fan, not so much. So that's why I'm gonna give. So that's why I'm gonna give 65 probably a 4.6 out of 10, and it gets a straight up D plus. This movie needs serious improving and all that stuff. And if I want to watch a better movie that is better than 65, I would rather stick with Land of the Lost, Peter Jackson's King Kong, the Jurassic Games, any other dino media that is better than 65. That's all I have to say. And perhaps I've been treating Dominion too harshly after all these years. So, yeah, that's my overall thoughts on 65. Man, that was a massive disappointment. And Gus, what are your ratings thoughts?
I would give this like a 4 out of 10 because it doesn't fit right. These animals are just animals and the humans are aliens. That's just way too awesome, bro. And I can't believe they made the Fossilisuchus way too awesome, bro, and the Legasuchus awesome, bro, and the Oviraptor awesome, bro, and even the Raptors and T-Rex. Oh my god, these idiots need to die.
And probably replace them with better dinos like the Dino King, Jurassic World, Dinosaur, Land Before Time, or the Jurassic Games. Even the Dino Dan and Dino Dana media, because they have better dinosaur models than 65. 65 knows better than that, but no, they decided to make them these alien like creatures that we see from the Amazing Spider Man and all that stuff. As much as I dislike the Amazing Spider-Man, at least it has like cool action scenes and all that stuff, especially with Spider-Man and the Lizard and all that stuff, which I'll get into that later. But overall, another video, another topic. Yeah, that's just about it. So, and I would rather stick with better dino medias that I grew up in, even the new ones that recently came out all after all these years. Because hell, there's even a better dino media that is around in 2023, like Prehistoric Planet Season 2, Life on Our Planet, which is coming on Wednesday, which I can't wait to do a collab with Tyrannotherium. And get this, Jurassic Park, the unofficial retelling, that is way better than 65 in my opinion. And as much cartoony with the dinos are, at least they felt like actual dinos, and that is 65 done in the right way. And I would take it over both the Adventures of Buck Wild and this anyhow. So yeah. And I hope you guys enjoy my collaboration review for 65 between me and Gus. And it is kind of nice, and decided to shift this review because it's a Halloween month and Halloween could be scary and all that stuff. So hope you guys enjoy, and please sure to like and subscribe, and more videos coming in the near future as well as other things. I might as well do music videos, mini vlogs, and many more. And until then, and not to mention, subscribe to my friend Gus's channel because he does a lot of cool music video tributes and all that stuff, vlogs, and many more. So if you guys want to subscribe to him, I'll put the link so that way you can guys subscribe to his channel, by the way. So yeah, there's that. Is there anything else, Gus?
Yeah, and just to let you know, people, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, just like that. So, anyways, LBT here. See you guys later, and have a good one. And remember, if something chases you, run.
Thank you very much, LBT, and muchas gracias.
Yep. And let's head off.